Hey everybody, welcome to We Are All Geeks. I am Kenny, alongside me today.
I'm Felipe.
And boy, do we have some thoughts on Death Stranding.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But before we jump into that, as of recording today, there was a new EXO event, EXO 2019, over in jolly old London, I believe. And they have things to say coming to Xbox. There's stuff happening. The one that's immediately probably awesome is Obsidian's Grounded is going to be going into early access this spring. New sandbox game from Obsidian. They are really hot off the tails of
Outer Worlds.
I always want to call it the Outer Rim because those two games are named way too similarly for life. Basically, you're a group of kids that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
The survival game.
And you need to, the survival game, and you need to survive. Cool. I haven't played the Outer Worlds myself yet. I hear nothing but great things.
Yeah.
Between that and Outer Rim and everything. Good for Obsidian doing stuff now that they're owned by Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. I'm not a huge survival fan, but from the little trailer that they showed, it looks interesting. So, I'll check it out.
Real quick, forgot to mention, this is a list from Kotaku. The writer is Chris Kohler. Go give them the click. Give them the view. You know,
they need that desperately.
We're not not about to get into that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Don't Nods, Tell Me Why will be available this summer. Don't Nod, of course, a vampire, but more commonly known for
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2 and Life is Strange and Before the Storm. A lot of Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Because life is strange.
Life is strange. Good games. Good episodic games. This one.
Good episodic games. Solid developer. You know, again, this is really cool. The game will be released in fall this summer on Xbox One. This game was created in partnership with GLAD. It features apparently the first transgender man in a video game, is what I was reading earlier. So, good for them.
Good for them. Hopefully they, I don't want to say do it justice, but do it right.
Yeah.
I think with that partnership, hopefully the way that it will come out, it won't be like pandering, that it would be, and it won't be like just completely awful about it. They would just be like, no, this is just how that type of person is.
Yes. And
it should be interesting.
That is portraying the LGBTQ community is a good thing as long as they're portraying them right. And so, this is exciting. Awesome.
I mean, definitely, that's just another.
Look, you should be excited for a new Don't Nod game.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's just another. I think really interesting thing about the game is the games that they made, the episodic games that they make, they're always a ton of fun. But with this, I think it would just add a lot more to the experience. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this rolls out. Like the video that they showed doesn't show much, but that's kind of how their games are. Like they don't really show much until you start playing it. You're like, oh, okay, I see where they're going.
Also in Don't Nod's defense or offense, however you want to take it, like they're still working on Life is Strange 2.
Right.
Like they have not finished that. So, of course we weren't going to get too much, but it's glad to know that they are working.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Next thing we're going to talk about, Rare's Everwild is going to come out at some point. So just reading straight from this, the trailer showed what seemed to be a group of player characters cooperatively exploring a colorful world of wildlife. Rare said it is focused on building an experience that allows for new ways to play in a natural and magical world.
That's all we know.
Yeah, that's all we know. Cool. So,
it looks beautiful for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Rare's working on another open world game, possibly. Like that's.
Hope it's better than Sea of Thieves.
Haven't seen that. Speaking of Sea of Thieves, it's getting an update. Shocking. Next, Final Fantasy games and more are coming to Game Pass. This is actually pretty cool because if you're going to have Game Pass by the end of 2020, you're going to be able to play Final Fantasies 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 2, 12, all 3 of the 13s, and 15.
That's a lot of Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, and that's just the cap of the iceberg that's coming to Game Pass. They did a lot of things at Game Pass. I'm excited that my friend Pedro is going there. Honestly. Yeah. I played My Friend Pedro on the Switch. It's a pretty good game, so that's one to look forward to. And then also The Witcher 3.
Yeah,
Like that's
it's a fantastic game.
yep,
So
that's huge. To give it away on a subscription service like this is nuts. It really is. Speaking of stuff from Square Enix, though, Kingdom Hearts is coming to the Xbox for the first time.
that's pretty cool.
Yep, the first. So 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8. I'm not seeing anything here about the in between games besides 2.8. So that I don't know that information off the top of my head.
I don't know. I know that on the, I think 2.8 had some of the other stuff with it.
And if I remember at 1.5 and 2.5, the discs did have that stuff on there.
They had some of it. Because eventually they released the Kingdom Hearts story so far, which had everything before number 3.
And that included 1.5, 2.5.
It did.
What I'm thinking, 1.5, 2.5 were the ones that had everything on it, including remixed. Kingdom Hearts 1 remixed and Kingdom Hearts 2 remixed. That's why I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
So 1.5, 2.5 would include everything. So correction, all of Kingdom Hearts will be on Xbox, apparently.
Yeah. If you're into Kingdom Hearts, or if you want to see, if you haven't played them yet and you want to see how the story, it's super easy to follow and understand story, you can start with Kingdom Hearts.
Let me tell you, there has never been someone who's made a YouTube video about how to follow Kingdom Hearts, because you can just
oh my gosh,
jump right into Kingdom Hearts 3.
Super easy.
There's no reason they're releasing these, because you can understand why Mickey is a king holding a keyblade. That's no problem.
Simple.
No problem.
Yeah.
Something else that's coming to the Xbox for the first time, Yakuza. Yakuza 0, Kiwami 1, and Kiwami 2 are all going to be on Xbox One and will be available on Game Pass in early 2020.
That's cool. I mean, Yakuza games, a lot of people love them.
Very, very lengthy legacy.
I wonder if this is because, there's a new Yakuza game coming next year.
Yes, there is.
So I wonder now, like with a lot of this stuff, like I wonder, either because they're getting the new game, so they're kind of showing like, here's some of the previous titles, or because they already got, like Kingdom Hearts 3 is already on the Xbox. The Final Fantasy 15 is already on the Xbox. I mean, the other ones were, like 13 was on the 360 and stuff like that. So I wonder if now it's like, okay, here's some of the backlog stuff. But then there's also, I don't know if you got there yet, but Halo Reach.
Yeah, that's actually what I just got to. Reach is being added to the Master Chief Collection for console and PC on December 3rd. Awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird that it's missing, because I believe even ODST is on there, like, in some form. So, good. We needed that on there. You can now play all of the Halo games. I don't know why you'd want to go back to 5, the one that was actually released on Xbox One, but you can do it.
Eventually, there's going to be a new Halo with the new console. So,
yeah, Infinite.
Again, one of those things where you can just play and see kind of where the series came from. So,
Wasteland 3 will be available May 19th. It is still, even though In Exile has been bought by Microsoft and is now an Xbox game studio, it is still scheduled to come out on PS4, Mac, and Linux.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like that with...
Outer Worlds.
Yeah, Obsidian, or the Ninja Theory when Hellblade was coming out. Like by the time they announced that they were that Microsoft had acquired them, like they still had games on the works. It's usually what they do is
they still had contracts with PlayStation and
they'll let those games come out, and then everything going forward is just exclusive to Xbox. So, anything else?
Looking through what else I want to mention. Bleeding Edge will be available March 24th. With a closed beta for pre-orders coming February 14th. This is the Ninja Theory game. Speaking of Ninja Theory, that looks like it's a close combat battle royale type thing.
I think the best way that I've seen it explained is like an Overwatch, where like Overwatch has their own characters and they all play.
But it's close.
Yeah,
combat.
but it's melee, or it's mostly melee. So I guess more like a For Honor, I guess would be a better description, where For Honor is just different characters, different melee characters. It looks cool. Like the characters look cool. Ninja Theories, they also did DMC, the Devil May Cry reboots, which they abandoned and then did Devil May Cry 5. But combat-wise, like the games that they've made, the combat was a ton of fun. So I'm hoping if they translate that into this, hope it's good. I'm not a huge multiplayer guy, but yeah.
Planet Coaster Console Edition is coming in summer 2020. We don't have confirmation as to whether or not that is exclusive or going to everywhere, or if it's a timed exclusive. But I'm actually hyped because I really liked Roller Coaster Tycoon back in the good old days on my PlayStation 2, I believe. You know, I liked it, and I'm excited to get something like that.
Yeah.
I just make infinite loops. All right, are the people going to be alive at the end of that ride?
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, they talked a little bit more about xCloud, which is exciting tech, of course, and it's the time to be talking about xCloud, because, you know, there's a lot of people talking about that old Google Stadia and how it does not look so hot anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is very good time. Devil May Cry 5, Madden 20, Tekken 7, and many more games are being added to Microsoft's game streaming service, which is in public preview mode in certain territories. Again, that was read straight from the Kotaku article. Go give them the click. And yeah, that's the major stuff. And even then, I threw in the Planet Coaster thing for fun.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Nothing. I mean, yeah, it just barely happened, like a few hours ago.
A few hours ago, not too long ago. Yeah, anything that are getting you hype?
Well, I mean, I'm excited for the Rare game, just because on the trailer it looks beautiful. I was psyched for Sea of Thieves until I played it, and I know they've had a lot of updates since, and I haven't touched it in a while, but you know, they make fun, interesting worlds. If the gameplay's there, and if they learn from their lessons that they've got from Sea of Thieves of how to make multiplayer games and to add the content for people to play, because that was the biggest issue is and hopefully they realize that not everyone will have always a group of other players to play. If that's the game that they're making, that's fine. It's not for me, but if I can play by myself, or maybe group up with a friend or two, that'd be cool. I'm excited. Who knows when that will come, but we'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
Mine's probably Planet Coaster.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's probably Planet Coaster.
The Dawn Knock game, which I already forgot the name, that looks interesting. I like Life is Strange, so I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah.
So
Episodic story based.
I like those.
That's right up my alley. Let's talk about something else though. If it seems like I slogged through that Xbox thing, it's because we've got a big topic today.
Oh my gosh.
We've got a game to talk about. And that game's name is Death Stranding.
Oh boy.
So the game came out about a week ago. We've both played through some of the content. We got enough thoughts. You haven't beaten it either,
no,
right?
I am.
So neither of us has beaten it. So this is an in-progress review, you could say.
Impressions of playing the game, basically.
It's questionable whether or not we'll finish this because, I'm definitely going to mention this again in the show. We are on the eve. We are hours away as of recording from getting Pokemon and Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
So we have two major games, one of that I have called my potential game of the year.
And I got to see what this is all about, so I'm also going to be playing that.
Yeah,
so.
and then Pokemon. I'm buying 3 games in about 2 hours, guys. Life is hard.
Yeah. But Death Stranding.
All right. So I think you...
let's start. How long did you play?
I think I hit about the 10-hour mark where people were saying that's when it gets good.
Did you get to... So, I guess before we start...
Light spoilers.
Some very, very light spoilers. I don't think we're really going to spoil anything about the story because I think... here's a little preview. I think that's the best thing that this game has going for it is the story. That's the reason why I kept playing.
Absolutely. The story is fantastic.
We're going to spoil some of the mechanics. A little bit of it, but not too much more than probably what I've seen in some trailers.
Right.
So we'll just leave it at that.
Right. No, so I was making my way to Lake Knot City.
What episode were you in? Episode 3?
If
If you even remember it.
It was 2 or 3.
Okay.
It was definitely not 4. I believe it was 3. I just got like the medical supplies that I'm taking to Lake Knot City.
Okay.
I did not make it to Lake Knot City.
All right.
But I just barely got the blood grenades.
Okay.
And I went and tested them for Mama, and then went to go deliver stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's about when I dropped off.
Let's get into this.
I
have some thoughts about this game.
I do too. It's better than I was going in thinking it was going to be.
Okay.
I actually did enjoy my time with the game. It was just, like I've said on every episode since we've launched, I had to make a choice very fast. Yes. And I made that choice that I was not going to finish this game before Star Wars or Pokemon. And so I said, I'm going to put it down now.
Okay.
Before I'm in so deep that if I try to come back, I'm going to drown.
Right.
So yeah, I ditched the game because of how much is coming up. But I liked it. The story was definitely engaging. Definitely some strange mechanics in the game. I know I got a lot of criticism, and I know Kojima's response to some of the criticism is being mistranslated and mishandled. But I think a lot of other people, I get it. The U.S. plays a lot of first-person shooters, and this is not a first-person shooter. This is indeed not a damn first-person shooter. It takes you 8 hours until you get something that you can actually use to kill something. Like, this is definitely not a first-person shooter. This is definitely not a traditional game in any sense of the word. It's still good. It's still solid, I think. I did get frustrated at one point. I think it was actually about when I dropped off, when I was trying to take the stuff to the testing, the chiral crystals and stuff. When I was taking that back, I started getting a little bit frustrated. Like, I'm just walking, you know. Like, I did start to get a little bit frustrated. But I would really like to go back and finish the story. I think one day, possibly, maybe. Yeah. You look all right, and go.
At times, I actively hate this game. I've put in probably, I think, between 10 to 15 hours into this game.
Okay.
This game fights me every single time I play it. You know, I remember talking about Anthem back in the day, being like, I like everything, but why does it fight me? Like, I just want to have fun. Just let me have fun. This is that, like, times 10. Like, this game, they had a vision for what they wanted to make, and I absolutely understand, and they made the game that they wanted to make. They forgot to add some fun to this game. I don't think this game is a ton of fun. And I'll get to why I think that. Story-wise, super interesting. I still have no idea what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff I'm like, what? And why? And what? And what? And what?
And a lot of that first couple of hours of the game is such an info dump.
Oh, it's so much. Oh my gosh. So there's a lot for sure. I really actually like that. It's that Kojima-esque game where, like, a character's named Mama, a character's named Deadman, a character's named Die Hard Man.
Die Hard Man. What? Dash Hardman. A lot of times it's pronounced Hardman, but it's Die Hard Man. Like, my God.
It's like...
And you've probably heard it. Like, you've probably heard that talked about. But
you know, the guy's name is Sam Porter Bridges.
But it was originally Sam Knott or...
Well, but here's the thing.
Sam Strand, but he doesn't... This is not how name works.
But his name is that because he is a porter.
Yes, and
like
he works
a transporter.
And he's working for
a company or for whatever bridges.
For bridges. That's
because
why his
they're
name is
building
like that.
Bridges.
Yes, it is. I get where it comes from. It is like, my last name is Smith, and so my family goes back to probably have been Smiths of some sort,
right?
Blacksmiths or what have you. You know, that's that is how they worked in the past. No one is die hard.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and they talk about it in the game. Your name is Sam Strand. No, my name is Sam Porter Bridges now. And Norman Reedus is killing it in this game, by the way.
Yeah. So I mean, so it has that Kojima like quirk of like it's even if you go back to like some of the Metal Gear Solid games, like what the name of some of the characters was just like really just weirdness, but you're like, okay, whatever, that's just his code name. So that's all fine.
There's a character named Fragile in a game about delivering stuff, gal.
Yeah. She works for Fragile Fragile Express.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the character's name is Fragile.
Yeah. So my biggest issue with this game, so this is absolutely a walking simulator for sure. You go, hey, take this thing here, go over there. Take this thing here, go over there. It's one of those games where I think it's the only one of its kind really that whatever you take with you, it's a physical item that you have to make room for. So you can't, you don't have this infinite backpack that's like, oh yeah, I have like 17 machine guns and 1,000 rounds of ammo and whatever, and it's no big deal. Like, no, you want to take a gun, you want to take it's something. It's a physical item you got to throw in your pack.
It's an inventory management game,
and that is where one of my biggest issues is with the game. Is because. Well, here, I'll give you an example as to why like this game really kind of annoys me. And I'm finally, I think, getting to a place where it's getting better, but he just took way too long to get there. Where the problem is, it's systems upon systems upon systems upon systems. Like a ton of stuff. So you have, boots that you wear, and there's a meter for them. So then the more you walk, then the meter goes down. So you have to carry another pair of boots with you, because if this boot happened to get too damaged or whatever, then it starts to like drain your stamina more because you have a stamina meter. And then if your stamina is draining more, then this other meter goes down.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a lot of meters, and then your health is blood. And
yes.
So your shoes are ruined, you're going to start bleeding, and it's going to start costing you health.
Right.
Yes.
So let's say you have the shoes, you have eventually, did you ever get like the exoskeleton? The thing for like your legs?
No.
So eventually, you're right, I think at a point where eventually they give you like an exoskeleton, like pair of legs, that increases your carrying capacity. But it's also a thing that when it rains with the timefall, it does damage. So there's a thing called timefall. Basically, the best way that I can explain is more of, think of it like an acid rain. Like you don't want to be out there on it because you take damage. The stuff you carry takes, not you personally, but the stuff you're carrying all takes damage from being out there. And the problem is, so I have my boots, they have their own meter that I'm walking, it goes down. Now it starts to rain. Now I'm taking even more damage. And also, for the most part, whenever it rains, you have the BTs, which are invisible things that you can't see, and the only way that you can really get past them is by crouching and walking slower. So now you're in the timefall, the acid rain, where you're trying to get out of it as fast as possible, but you don't do that, otherwise you're going to get caught. And then you have your little shoulder-mounted puppet thing.
The thing that's connected to the BB.
Yeah, where you should be able to see where the BTs, the invisible things are. But when you do the scan, you have to stand still and wait like a couple of seconds for you to see. So it's a lot of, I'm in this thing that I should try to get out as fast as possible. I can't run. Not only can I not run, I have to walk slower and I have to stand still to be able to see where they are to then move. And man, that is just not for me. No. Not a fun combination.
And that was part of when I was saying I was getting frustrated when I was making that package delivery. They were there, and at this point I had the trike for like a hot minute, and it ended up getting destroyed because I was trying to figure out a way to avoid the BTs, and then the only way to avoid the BTs was to not have a trike apparently, because I destroyed that.
Yeah, so it's like I'm to the point now in the game where I moved on to another area, and I have access, like I can build weapons now. So I have weapons against the BT and the human enemies.
Oh, okay.
I can build like a motorcycle and a truck. I can build those. But the thing is that like it's fine. Yeah, here's a motorcycle. Cool. The entire terrain that I'm at is all rocky. There's no flat plains. There's no nothing. So I'm like, cool, you gave me this motorcycle. I can't do anything with it because there's no place for me to go. Now, again, going back to how they made the game they wanted to make. There is, like right outside the main base, there's like a big old machine that if you pump in enough materials, it will fabricate a road. So then as people work together, if you're playing this game online or connected online, if everyone's working together, I played one day and the road was like barely in front of the place. And then I didn't play for like another day or so. I come back and now the road is way more completed and way further now. So it definitely is better to play disconnected with other players because they'll leave stuff behind for you to use.
Advice, the baby calming stuff is always nice. There's the like for like, which likes are a system in this game also.
Yeah.
This is a Kojima game.
Yeah, I think my biggest issue with the game is I think it's almost like we've been so conditioned to have like things like fast travel or like all these like inconveniences.
And the purpose of this game is to not fast travel.
And so I think when it first hit me that I was like, I think I kind of hate this game is, so you start way, let's say at the top of the map. And the point is like you take a bunch of stuff from here and you go over to the other place and then you link them up with the network. Yeah. Cool. And then from there it's like, all right, now this place will give you another delivery that you go keep going, right? So that's kind of the formula of the game. Like you always get one delivery and you take it to the next place and you take it to the next place and off you go. Well, by the time I got all the way to the bottom, the main guy's like, cool, hey, come on back to the beginning. And I remember opening up my map and being like, this is going to take me like 45 minutes to walk up there. And he's like, oh, don't come up empty-handed though. Make sure you bring this other delivery. That's almost as much as what I can carry. And so like I'm walking around, I have no bike, and I'm just like, I think I might be done with this game.
Yeah.
But I muscled through it, and like I said, I'm finally to the point now where I have extra, I can carry more weight. I just got another exoskeleton that I can swap it out, and I can walk faster. So I can like sprint really quick. But those things, guess what? They take batteries. So you can't have it all the time.
You have to build a generator or something. Oh,
so again, it's one of those things that if the story wasn't as interesting as it's been, I would have given up on this game a long time ago, for sure.
So hearing you talk and knowing what I know of the game, feeling kind of the same way, like, man, this is starting to get tedious. This is starting to annoy me. I'm wondering if I don't just look up the movie.
There definitely is some, on YouTube, you can watch a video of just, I think it was like a 9-hour long, the one that I saw, just like, here's all the cutscenes in the game, just strung, so you can watch all of it. Because the game itself, it just hasn't been a ton of fun. Like, now that I have some weapons, it's definitely a little better because I have a weapon that I can kill or disperse the BT. So when I get stuck in with the time fall and a BT shows up, I can just pull the weapon out. I was like, boom, so now I can clear a path to go. Same thing for the human enemies. I got a bola gun that I can just shoot and it wraps them and I don't have to kill them. I also have a lethal option as well. But I'm trying to like not do that.
The game explicitly does not want you to kill anyone.
Yeah, it tells you like here, this is a non-lethal, this is a lethal way to deal with this.
And if you kill people, you need to burn them, or else they will create a crater.
Yeah. So now I'm up to a point where I think I was lucky enough on the game that I was playing, and I don't know if it's if you were to eventually get to the point that I'm at, where there's now like a huge road that's made, because that changed the game for me, because I because I was playing online, I saw that someone online had just like left a bike in the online garage. So then I got a bike and I just used that bike the entire time. I rode down as close as I could to a place, ran out, did my deliveries. I'm doing only the story missions. Like I have a ton of options for other deliveries. I'm like, I don't care. Just give me the next story beat. I just want to see where this goes. And I just barely got to a point where I can apparently now make a zip line.
Oh.
So, but you have to make both ends of the zip line. So you go right here, you put this thing down, and then it's a max range of like 300 meters or something. So then you get somewhere else, make another one. So it's not. I've ridden on some because I was playing online and other people had it. But man, I think if they didn't have this online component that people can work together and everyone can kind of come together and do this, I would not be playing this game.
And I think that is the point of the game.
Yes.
Like, it's definitely the point of the game is that we need to be more connected. That's what is wrong with America right now, is that in the game that there's no connection. Like, you cannot communicate because of the BTs and the fact that when people die, they create craters.
Yeah.
And the everything. Like,
Yeah.
just everything. And then, so the world, the country is disconnected. It doesn't talk about whether or not it's just this country either, by the way.
Yeah, see, and that's again
So
going
far.
back to the story of they only know that the Death Stranding happened, and they actually explain a lot of that stuff. I'm not getting into story spoilers, but they definitely talk about why it's called the Death Stranding, as if you're stranded and things like that. So I thought it's been interesting. I have a hard time ever trying to recommend a game for someone when you have to say all these caveats of like, yeah, but this game is going to take a while before it gets any good or interesting. So you got to go through a bunch of crap first. I have a hard time doing that, but personally, like, I'm going to play Jedi first, but I definitely want to come back just because it got to the point now that I'm opening up more, that it's being... I can go through the game being okay and not having to run everywhere because that's just too much. And I think it looks awesome. I know I didn't say anything, but like, it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
I like the way it
looks.
looks.
It's a very, very pretty game.
Even though there's tons of systems, like, I feel like it plays great, you know, like just the way they have the button configurations and the stuff you got to do. I think it's fine. It's just, man, there's so much stuff that they throw at you, and not a lot of it is fun. I wish that they had given us some of these other options much sooner, but
yeah,
I want to come back to it. Like, I said I actively hate this game, but I think about it all the time, and I want to go back and play.
Yeah, it's really engaging.
Yes.
Like, it really is. Like, at any given point, you can get a piece of email or something that changes the way you look at the game, maybe, you know? And then, you know, part of the reason I'm not sure if I'm just going to watch the movie or not is because I went and spoiled the cameos for myself. But there are some people in this game, man.
I saw one of them. I don't want to...
Well, I got...
It's one that we already know.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it on the show, probably. I found Ludden's fan.
You found who?
I found Jeff Keighley.
I didn't see him.
Yeah, I found Jeff Keighley. He's, like, super early.
Yeah? Well, he is not part of a story. He's not a story
He's
one.
not. He's a side mission thing. It was, I picked up a thing that was addressed to Ludden's fan, and I'm like, is that... All right. Went back, and the piece of mail you get from him after you make that first delivery is...
Yeah? I hear that it looks like him, but it's not his voice.
It's not his voice. Yeah. It's not a lot of their voices.
The one that I saw...
Let
me tell you. Can't tell you.
Is it Conan?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I know that's his voice.
Yeah. No, I ran into him, and I didn't know until it's part of a different... I think it's a story mission. I'm pretty sure. But it's just asking to deliver a thing for this person, and you get there, when you make deliveries, a woman, and she's talking, and it's like eventually like, oh yeah, no, my boyfriend wants to say something, and then he just pops up, and it's him, and he just...
The otter costume?
Yep, he does this thing, and he makes all these puns, and He comments about how you're not laughing and stuff like that. And then I think I recorded some of it on my phone because I couldn't believe it when I saw it. And yeah, so not bad, but
Yeah, there's definitely stuff to keep you going, but it's definitely a little bit of a slog.
yeah, but that's, the issues that I have with this game is the fact that if you don't carry all the stuff with you, you feel like you're unprepared. Like getting to the Conan delivery,
No.
I got to a point where if I had the climbing anchors to drop down, I could have just dropped down right there, which thankfully I did. But if not, I would have had to go so far out of the way to be able to make a loop to eventually climb down to where he's at. And so when I got to that point, I was like, oh my gosh, I better have some climbing anchors on me. And thankfully I did, and I was able to climb down. But man, if I didn't, that would have been it for me. I'm like, no, that's it.
No, I'm with you. It's like, okay, I'm carrying 3 or 4 ladders because I'm worried that I'm going to need to get up somewhere, and I'm carrying a bunch of those. And then they just start adding like the grenades, and if they're going to start adding the bolas and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
man, and how am I supposed to carry? And I'm going to have to start making sacrifices and choices, and I know that's what he wants me to do. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
though.
and I think that's the point, is they want, and maybe it's a thing that as the more you play, you start to look, okay, where am I going? Okay, because I'm to the point now where I'll look at where the delivery is, and if it doesn't look like it's a place I have to climb or up or down or whatever, I'm like, well, I'm not going to carry a ladder with me. I'm not going to take the step.
That map is the best map in games.
Oh, it's
possibly.
fantastic.
Like you can actually kind of tell where elevation is and stuff like that.
So when I look at stuff like that, it looks good. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go with this. If it doesn't appear like I'm going to be going somewhere that I'm going to need to fight or whatever, like I'm not going to carry a gun or a way to defend myself. Just for the most part, like I try not to engage in combat at all. Like unless I have to, there's some missions you have to go into like the hostile human territory and like get a thing, but I usually just try my best to just get the one thing and get out, and that's it. But yeah, this game, man, I don't know. It's barely. That's why I think I want to keep going. At first, it was just me trying to see what the story is, but now it was getting to the point where it's getting better. I'm just nervous that eventually it's gonna get to a point. It's like, okay, here's now some other BS that you have to deal with. I'm like, but I think a third of the game. I finally ran into Mads, whatever his name is.
Okay.
He's on the trailers and stuff like that. But I finally ran into his actually, I don't know if it's his actual character, but I actually saw him outside of a cutscene. So, and I kind of know a little bit of what the story's going on, but man, there's so much in that game. So, we knew about this before we even talked about how this game was going to be. And even when reviews were coming out before the game was out, either you're going to really love this game or you're not going to like this game. Right now, I don't really like this game. But I'm hoping that as it goes, it's such a unique experience. I'm hoping that at least I'll play for that. Okay. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, those are our thoughts on Death Stranding. How about you? What did you think? Have you played it? Are you going to play it? You should decide that.
Maybe.
Like,
I don't know.
I was about to say you should play it, but
this game is definitely not for everyone. That's for sure.
It is not for everyone. It is not for everyone. But you should leave a comment below on your plans or how you're feeling about it. That would be greatly appreciated.
Yes.
And then, of course, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, whatever you got to do. Do you have a friend's cell phone sitting next to you? Or grab that, give a subscribe, like, on their phone.
Yeah. What are they doing if they're just leaving the fun out there?
Hit the bell, and then they'll get an alert, and they'll say, oh, hey, we are all geeks. I don't know who they are. And then they'll find out who we are. See?
Done.
Solutions. And then you'll have more things to talk about with your friends.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. Connections. Connections through streams. All right.
Very good one. I like that one.
Until next time, I'm Kenny.
I'm Felipe.
Have a good night.